Hello and welcome to graphic.com.gh from the Graphic Online TV newsroom. This is a brief.
Public-private partnership means a form of contractual arrangement or concession between a contracting authority and a private party for the provision of public infrastructure or public services traditionally provided by the public sector, as a result of which the private party performs part or all of the infrastructure or service delivery functions of government and assumes the defined risks over a significant period of time.
At the Graphic Business Stanbic Bank breakfast meeting in Accra, PwC Ghana's senior country partner Vish Ashiagbo has highlighted public-private partnerships as a viable financing solution for Ghana's infrastructure and public services deficit. Mr. Ashiagbo emphasized the significant economic benefit of PPPs when properly executed, drawing on PwC's global experience and collaborations with Ghana's Ministry of Finance. He noted that the passage of the PPP Act in 2020 provided a clear legal framework for defining and implementing PPP projects. Speaking on sustainable development, he referenced the former UN Secretary General's definition, stating that project costs should not become liabilities for future generations.
In essence, a PPP project should not leave the government with debt that it cannot sustain, right? So sustainable financing is one of the aspects of a PPP. So typically, if you put together a PPP project that is financed by the private sector, the debt would not be on government's books. Typically, the project company is the one that will assume the debt, and that debt is then paid for by proceeds. If it's a user paying a project, then proceeds that come in from the users.
Activist Oliver Barker-Vormawor has been summoned to appear before Parliament's Appointments Committee following allegations that the committee demands money from ministerial nominees in exchange for approval. The chairman of the committee, Bernard Ahiafo, categorically dismissed the claims, describing them as baseless. Barker-Vormawor is expected to present evidence on Wednesday, January 29th. Meanwhile, some members of the committee have called for a suspension of vetting until the matter is addressed.
Our attention is drawn to the media statement by Oliver Barker-Vormawor to the effect that, one, the majority members of the appointment committee have been demanding money before approving the nominees, and the chairman must submit himself to oral. Let me place on record that I am ever ready to submit myself to oral. The second aspect was to the effect that all the committee members are taking money from the nominees before vetting and approval. This morning, instead of starting vetting at least by 10 o'clock, we recall into a conclave to deliberate on this issue. We need to stop certain attitude. So therefore, I, Bernard Ahiafo, First Deputy Speaker of Ghana's Parliament and the Chairman of the Vetting Committee, wants to place it on record that myself and the committee members do not demand money from any nominee before vetting and approval. I will therefore direct the clerk of the committee to invite Oliver Barker-Vormawor to appear before the committee tomorrow at 10 before noon to provide evidence of Benara here for the chairman of the vetting committee or any member of the vetting committee to back his claim that we demand money from the nominees before vetting and approval. Clerk of the committee, I so direct.
The Minister for Food and Agriculture, Agric Opoku, has warned employees of his ministry to desist from engaging in partisan politics that could sabotage his work. Speaking during his working tour on Monday, January 27, the minister said, "The politics is over. You may belong to whichever party. At the end of the day, we are talking about Ghana and how to govern our country." He cautioned that obstacles in the form of political bias will not be tolerated. If you are still in the political mood and you think everything is about politics, then you become an obstacle, and every obstacle must be cleared, he warned. Mr. Opoku visited several directorates, including the Plant Protection Regulatory Service Directorate at Pokwase, where he pledged to leverage expertise to boost yield and reduce imports of tomatoes and onions.
I urge them to do away with politics. They should hang their political jackets and approach government business with a sense of patriotism, so that at the end of the day, we can deliver prosperity to the good people of Ghana. But let me quickly add that if, in spite of all that we have said, you think that you are still in the political mood and that we should work against government efforts at liberating our people from the excruciating economic hardships, then we'll also do everything possible to clear you as a header and allow development to trickle down to the people of Ghana.
President John Dramani Mahama has approved appointment of key staff members to the office of the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. A statement signed by Felix Kwachi Ofosu, acting spokesperson to the president, named Alex Segbefia as chief of staff and Samuel Ofosu Ampofo as political advisor. Other appointees include Mrs. Alberta Graham as head of administration, Professor Teresa Enin as special aide, Ms. Daniela Mavis Matthias as Secretary to the Vice President, Professor Teresa Enin, Presidential Staffer and Special Aide to the Vice President, Professor Sharif Mahmoud Khalid, Policy Advisor Economic, Dr. Hamza Zakaria, Policy Advisor Economic, Ms. Mansa Ewa, Policy Advisor Finance, Dr. Mariam Rahinatu Idrisu, Policy Advisor Social Sector, and Mame Amaprat, Press Secretary. The Accra High Court has adjourned the case of Safina Mohammed Adizatu, accused of murdering her Canadian boyfriend, to February 27, 2025. The adjournment is due to the court awaiting directives from the Chief Justice on empaneling a 7-member jury. Safina, a former University of Ghana student, denies the charge of murder and is currently on bail. The prosecution alleged that on July 24, 2022, Safina and her accomplices stabbed and strangled Frank Kofi Osei at her residence in Ashaleboche. After cleaning up the scene, they allegedly moved his body to the gate near his car and reported his death to the police. Safina was later arrested and investigations are ongoing. Tragedy struck in Saskatoon, Canada, as 25-year-old Alfred Autry, a Ghanaian student, was fatally stabbed just 4 months after arriving in the country. Autry, who hailed from Kumasi, Ghana, had recently taken a part-time job at DSI Underground Canada to support his education. The incident occurred on Monday, January 20th, with Saskatoon police confirming that Autry was found with stab wounds at the facility and later pronounced dead at the hospital. A 53-year-old co-worker, Troy Francis Leclerc, has been charged with first-degree murder. Autry was an active member of Saskatoon's Church of Pentecost, described as a big church from the Ghanaian committee. friends have launched a GoFundMe campaign to support his grieving family. Thank you for watching. Kindly follow us on our website graphic.com.gh and follow us on all social media handles: Graphic Online Ghana on TikTok, Daily Graphic Ghana on Facebook and Instagram, Graphic GH on YouTube and X. My name is Erabna Koba.